Hello, and welcome to the first of our series of online information sessions. I'm Boni Sones, and I'm joined today by Dr. Jo Mills, Director of the Postgraduate Diploma in Entrepreneurship. We're here today to discuss the experience of learning online. Welcome, Jo.
Hello.
Why has the Postgraduate Diploma in Entrepreneurship been designed as a part-time programme which is delivered and studied largely online?
Well, we've designed the Postgraduate Diploma in Entrepreneurship specifically as a qualification for entrepreneurs. And recalling the way that we designed it, and I had the privilege of being involved in that process, we really wanted to do a couple of things. Firstly, we wanted to enable participants on the programme to be able to study and also start up their businesses at the same time. So actually apply their learning directly to the enterprise project or entrepreneurial venture they bring with them. So designing it part-time allows people to do that. They're not here all the time, they're actually out and about and actually in their own environments. The online component really gave us the opportunity to enable participants to come from all over the world. So actually people can be studying in Australia, in the US, in Europe, or here in Cambridge or in the rest of the UK, and be connecting with each other to bring their entrepreneurial ventures and their learning together in a collaborative way. Actually, if I think about it now, this has really been a great benefit of the programme because we have a huge diversity of participants. Of the 160 or so students who've walked through our doors or engaged in our online learning, actually they've come from about 43 nationalities across the globe.
So that's a global network.
Absolutely, and global network and accessible all the time through the online parts of the programme.
Are the online elements of the course structured?
Oh, absolutely. We take the learning design very, very seriously. As I mentioned, it's a part-time programme. We have some elements of the programme that are based here in Cambridge and are run very much as a residential session, and that's structured in a traditional way with a mixture of lectures and workshops and mentoring and networking opportunities and opportunities for students to pitch and present their own ideas. So in the same way, the online components are also structured very carefully. What we do is we put the online learning together into blocks of about 5 or 6 weeks. And each of those weeks is centred on a theme. So in each 5-week component, you might have a theme that looks at entrepreneurial finance, a theme that looks at marketing, a theme that looks at the personal development aspects, at strategy, at opportunity recognition, and so on. And within each of those themes, they run in quite a formulaic way in many ways, so students can get used to that structure and process. So each week has a mixture of multimedia content. It has written materials, it has reading materials. We connect directly with the Library and Information Service here at the Judge Business School and all their breadth of resources and databases and electronic materials. And we also have video materials, and those videos have been developed as entrepreneurs or lectures and interviews with entrepreneurs that really enable people to take the theoretical part of the readings and look at how those pan out in practice. Alongside those inputs, if you like, there are also opportunities for students to apply their learning and collaborate and consolidate on it. So the very heart of the online learning are a whole load of discussion forums set in different contexts. Sometimes they're about the theory, sometimes they're about practice, sometimes they're about the role models, sometimes they're about applying them to your own enterprise project. And through that, students can connect with each other in a very vibrant way. And finally, there's the opportunity to apply to your own enterprise project with a weekly assignment that students have the opportunity to bring all their learning together and how it really works for them.
It's a very busy time, and I presume you signpost students as to what to do when and where to go and look.
Absolutely. In fact, the glue behind the content is almost in some ways equally or more important than the content itself, because students are out there, they're not here in Cambridge, they can't knock on our doors, so we have to guide them very carefully through the whole process of learning and take them on that journey of entrepreneurship.
So what are the challenges of students studying online?
Okay, I think there are a number of different challenges. I think the key one for any student coming on a programme like this is actually managing time. The kinds of people that come on the programme are either fresh graduates who have loads of different ideas they want to apply to, but at the same time they're just getting into doing some work to sustain their lifestyles, or they're people who are in full-time employment who are thinking, shall I jump ship and start my own business, or they're people who've already started their own businesses and they're very busy people. So I think time management is absolutely critical, and we find a lot of students find this quite a challenge, actually fitting in the 10 to 12 hours of commitment it takes to really study this program well online. We try and help them, of course, and we've thought a lot about this in the design of each week's worth of content. The way we schedule the release of materials and expect them to respond, we allow them flexibility, but we also give them guidance as to how much they should do. I think also by having a weekly assignment at the end of each week, it guides them in the longer term. It actually forces them to draw together their thinking and learning, even if very briefly, so that they can have inputs from their mentors or tutors on the program, but also that helps them to focus them each week. And at the end of each course, after each 5 or 6 week block of online learning, they have to write an assignment. And if you've done these weekly assignments, you've almost written half of what you need to do for the final assignment for the course.
It brings people together, those deadlines.
Absolutely, and I think that keeps a pace, and I think if everyone's operating at the same pace, you can get much more of the learning from your peers and much more out of the whole process.
Does online learning, Jo, contribute to the isolation and loneliness of the entrepreneur, or is that too strong?
Well, I think, entrepreneurship is often described as quite a lonely process, even though it's not a solo activity really. You have to interact with other people. And we always felt that actually the learning for entrepreneurship should be very collaborative. So actually what we do as part of this online learning is we include participation within the virtual learning environment and within all those discussion forums as quite a key part of the assessment process. So this gives people that carrot, if you like, and it's significant. This gives people the carrot to actually contribute to the various discussion forums. And actually what we see are these great conversations going on. If I think back just to the last week or the last 2 weeks, we've been discussing in quite some depth, the value propositions behind people's enterprise projects. They've been putting them out there, getting inputs in from both their peers and from their mentors and from others, or intellectual property, and likewise discussing, what strategies they might take. So I think actually knowing that, if you contribute to this, you've actually got the support and encouragement of a set of global peers all over the world in a 24/7 environment. There's not much opportunity to get so lonely, really.
No, it sounds really exciting, and the environment you create online is energetic. But have you got any tips for students in terms of tracking and finding the hidden treasure in all the active discussions online, everything that's going between people? Are there hidden treasures?
There most definitely are hidden treasures, and I've actually had one student write in some comments that it's almost like reading the Sunday Times, but much more beneficial to understanding your business. There's loads of great stuff that comes out. I mean, it's really like crowdsourcing your learning in many ways, because you have all these other folks on the program, 40 or so of them from places all over the world with different insights and perspectives and different things to offer and different contributions to make to your own learning and to your the development of your entrepreneurial project. It is hard. We have a massive amount of contributions that go online. We did some research the first year of the program, and I think we had, over the course of 12 months, around 5,000 contributions to the discussion forums, which is just amazing when you think about it. And it can be quite hard and overwhelming, I think, sometimes to really work your way through all that number of forum posts. But actually, the way we do the assessment is people, to some extent, assess each other. So it's about creating value, if you like, in terms of the contributions you make. So it's really up to, there's a bit of onus on the individual to make sure that your posts count and are valued by others and making them clear and concise. But also you need to manage your time effectively to track your way through the forums and to have your eyes tuned to your colleagues along the course who you like to follow and to the discussion threads that really interest you. And there's somehow a knack that you need to develop over the course of the programme to really make the most of the resource that's out there, because it's a terrific one.
And I suppose there's a buzz if someone posts something that others think their colleagues might like to see. A buzz goes around that communication.
Oh, absolutely. And I remember in one of our earlier programmes, towards the end, one of our students posted his design for his branding and his logo and said, well, you know about my enterprise project, here's my logo that the marketing agency have come up with, and actually I'd like your input into this. And what followed was a stream of about 30 or so discussion posts about different colours, what it meant, did it really fit with the ethos of the business? And it was fantastic, and a real buzz about it.
And I suppose it gives students confidence as well. But do students need any specific technology to access, use and participate in the online learning sessions?
Not particularly. The virtual learning environment at the moment runs on a platform called Moodle, which is widely used in universities and studying environments across the globe. So it's very much an open source technology. So I think as long as students have the most recent browsers, they can actually access all the material. The material also works quite well on mobile devices too. So in many ways you have this access to this wide variety of learning resources and of people online with you, just in your pocket if you wish. So it's there and easily accessible at any time.
Dr. Jo Mills, thanks for talking to us about the experience of learning online.
Thank you very much.
If you need more information, go to our website or email our team.